to get started on the journey, chosen, wasted, now it's all I do. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. Sober, sad and jaded. They're not coming, they're broken down and defeated. You are dying while I wait to get started. You are dying while I wait to get started. I always thought that what happened fall out of the sky, yeah. Crush me in my smile. I always thought that what happened fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile.
I'm a motherfucking unicorn, but one of one. Divide being the love and light, then light and one. My karma is interstellar, I live by truth. Fighting evil, my scars are living proof. Protecting you from the storms with all my might. Love me, I will treat you right. You ever cross me, it's the last thing you'll ever do. With my crown of thorns, I'll wreck you. I ain't playing, yo, Bryan hard, call me a saint. Too bad Chris, because Bigfoot knows my name. I'm a messenger of God, with loyalty I serve. Taking out all evil with his holy word. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand. Slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand. Slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Hello. I was asked by someone like, you're not really going to do that. And I did. So I don't care. My show, my way of doing things. And I'm welcoming everybody. It's Third Eye Live. And before we start and we bring on our guest, which it's been a while since we've been together. but the the court orders have ceased, and we're allowed back in the same room, and we're going to be at a conference together. We'll talk about that in a minute. The premise behind this show is how your third eye or your pineal gland or that gut feeling or the premonitions or what you've experienced in life on a higher plane help you to do what you do. So we're going to have artists on here. We're going to have musicians on here. We're going to have psychics on here, tarot card readers on here. If all goes to plan with me and Ron, strippers we're going to have on here. And we're going to do something different. The paranormal has been, my personal opinion, has been killed. There's like 50,000 paranormal shows. And this is totally something different. This is intuition. This is how, you want to be in life. We're going to talk a higher power. We're going to talk about God and other spiritual beings and the goodness of people in there, and what develops that talent in you or that drive to say, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to try out for this, or, hey, I painted this and I had a dream last night. So it's totally different. We're going to bring on a lot of different people. It's not just going to be paranormal. And unfortunately, some people may be like, oh, wow, crap, this is going to be bad. But no, it's not. So let me just start off by saying welcome to Oklahoma Nana. Thank you for being here, Mark Eddy. And he may or may not be wearing clothing, Mark. Oh, crap, Al Santariga here. The Podfather himself, Amber, Straw Dog, and there's a bunch of other people. It's new, so getting it out is a little bit more difficult. This Wednesdays used to be for the Three Beards. Mark was on that as well. That is ended. Hopefully we can convince someone named Craig to either come on or do like once a month type of thing, and we'll throw it all together in the same time slot. We'll just keep it an hour. But I'm just happy to have my first guest. You can remove someone's comments. It's okay. We're gonna be setting up people with that wrench. So it's something to do. But my first guest is awesome. He's my go-to. I remember it back in the day when we were on another English radio station before we kind of got booted and they screwed around. I was doing a show called Beyond the Realm, and Al was a part of that, and our psychic Cindy Bailey Dove. We're going to have Cindy on too. We'll have Al on if we can get through to his agent, because he does like 5,000 podcasts a week. I'm retired. No, you're not. You're not retired, Al. So, but my first guest had another person on as a co-host who was like a wet noodle. And he just, he was, he's freaking awesome. Author, investigator, researcher. We'll let him tell you all he's done. He's probably has the top 10 OnlyFans page in the country. I'm booked for next week. Al already said I'm booked. Oh, and Penny's here. We're going to have Penny L.A. Shepherd on too. And let me tell you, I can't wait till Penny comes on, because that's going to get a little bit dark and weird and good and great. And I'll see her tomorrow when I'm on David Zublick's Awaken Nation, 9 a.m. That's my spot, 9:30. Come see us over there, over on Rumble TV. But my first guest needed some help. But I said, hey, I'll go help him out. And it was just, so yeah, it was like we're best friends, and it was great. So I'm not even going to waste any more time. Here comes Ron, the crypto guru Murphy.
Hello, Bryan. Without you, I will tell you right now, I would not be here doing podcasts, because, of course, I was a guest on a lot of shows, but to do it yourself is very, very difficult. And I cut my proverbial teeth in the podcast world right along with you. We were hanging and banging, and we were like a tag team wrestling, and we were taking on old comers. And then we get to the very top, and then those people try to just bring us right back down again. So, but here
Gotta
we
play us
are.
against each other. It was like a
That's
Beatles
right.
thing, right?
But it's I'm going to say, and this sounds like a long time, but I would think that we've been doing something like this for a decade. Is that true?
We've been doing it for a decade. We had a good run, and I wanted to do more, and then life gets in the way, and you went one way, and then I did Nobo Boomi, which stands for Nobody But Me.
Yeah.
And and then I'm doing interviews, and I'm always thankful to be asked to be be a
Sure.
guest. I've had people go like, hey, how can I, I've been trying to get you as a guest, how do I do it? I'm like, just ask me. I'm not anybody famous or special. I will basically talk about whatever people want to talk about. And it just worked out. And then we came back together for a little bit, and then everything started to go a little bit crazy, so we all started doing our own thing.
Well, I think the main problem that I was facing is I had to have a copious amount of children. That was my main thing, and that's still what's bugging me today. So now I have 3 adult kids and 2 kids that are straddling that line, of I have a 12-year-old yet and I have a 16-year-old yet, but all of them in their own ways are still knuckleheads, right? My
Right.
daughter Willow, who's 18 years old, just finished her first semester of college. She's
Yes.
studying to be a doctor. She got onto the dean's list. I'm very, very proud of her. And I hopefully, whenever she's done with work, I can live off of her money, is basically what I'm looking for right now.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
know what?
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. And not only that, I'm glad to be here because usually whenever I do a show, it begins, all right, let's talk about some dog man here or
Right.
Bigfoot. Hey,
Right.
I enjoy talking about that kind of stuff. I truly do. That's what got me into this whole thing. But
Right.
the idea that you have is very attractive to me, because what you're insinuating there is some sort of knowledge out there that is capable of being transcendent if you would allow it to be such. And the more I'm getting into the world of the paranormal, the more I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that the paranormal is simply a facet of who we are, and it's projected onto this world around us. So I think the more we know about who we are as human beings, the more we know about everything else, if that makes any sense. And
Yeah.
there's nothing more. And I've written a couple books on this. The idea of self-help or self-awareness. I've written a couple books on this, but the idea that we are in this world and we are defined by relationships and all this other kind of stuff. I like the idea that one of the most paranormal things that you could discuss is love, because what the hell is it, And you and I have been on the both sides of it, right? We've seen the good sides of it, and we've seen the bad sides of it. And as right now going forward, I think I might want to be known as the love guru. I think that's the kind of the way I'm going to go right now.
We gotta go get Dave Scott in here, who I told him, like, we're doing a show. It's a new show. He goes, oh, go figure, you have a podcast, right? It was that 9,850 podcasts I have. It took a while to get to where we are right now with this show, because StreamYard has been douchebaggery about pricing. They got purchased by somebody else. But you're right. I mean, there's love is real. It's mystical. It's magical. It could be poisonous. It could
That's
be
right.
right. And something I when I called Ron up, I'm like, I'm doing this new show. I want you to be the first guest. And I'm not, it's not necessarily paranormal, but it's I want to talk a bit about love. And that fat bastard with the bow and arrow, Cupid,
That's right.
whatever it
That's
is.
right.
And let me tell you something. Love is it's great when you have it. It is great. And there's different types of love too, but it's like, there's love like when Ron said he had 5 children. I mean, when we went to Ocean State many, many moons ago, we were interviewing all these like TAPS people, and Sherry Benedetti was there. She was awesome. And I asked the question, what do you use for protection? meaning what do you use for protection to go into an investigation or whatever? And Ron, without missing a beat, typical Mr. Ron Murphy, I don't use protection. That's why I have 5 children. But what do you use? And Sherry just
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And whenever you broached this idea with me, I remember it specifically. You had called me up and you said, I'm thinking about doing this new show. And of course, I was filming content for my OnlyFans, so I was walking around with my chaps on and my nipple piercings. But I thought, I want to be in that same room with Bryan
Oh my
and give
God.
these fans what they need to hear.
Yes, the nipple piercings.
That's right. That's right.
You know what? I wish I could have an OnlyFans page, but I don't even want to see myself in the mirror. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't look at it. I just close my eyes. So sometimes you get a picture of the cat or something like that. But it's something to make a little bit of spare change.
Right. Is the back pearl out back? No. This is Skull and Crossbones on a hot pink shirt, and I've gotten a ton of compliments about it. Mr. Santariga, he's commenting on my shirt right there. Hey, Vincent.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's just it's what we do. I wear a lot of loud shirts. I usually use when they ask for it's actually funny when my kids are like, how many times do you come here? People just know me. They just know who I am. Hey, what's going on? And a lot of people, I use the word what is the order under? So instead of going Bryan because they spell it wrong, I go Bigfoot. So everybody remembers Bigfoot. So
there you go. Perfect. Yeah. I gotta get one of those. I want to be a paranormal pirate.
I'm telling you, these shirts are great. When I went to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, and we're going to be talking about something. Ron has a new book out about Gettysburg. We'll segue into that in a second. I have all these great shirts. I have a Scooby-Doo shirt. It looks like the Mystery Machine. And everybody's like, great shirt. And then the next day, like, oh my God, another great shirt. Let me tell you something. You'll always made it, brother. Thank you very much. Michael Anthony, he's got a great show as well. A lot of controversy and a lot of good information too. Not all the time, but Michael Anthony, besides being a hell of a bass player.
For bass player for Van Halen.
Van Halen, right now with Sammy Hagar. I always, I wear these colorful shirts. I live in the semi-tropics, although it's fucking freezing here, dude. It's like it's gonna go to 42 degrees. Now, don't get me wrong, I know where you are. You're in Western PA, the tundra. And I know there's some people like Al is probably 16 degrees. What's the weather by you at this point?
It's 19 degrees, and we have probably about 4 to 6 inches of snow on the ground.
God, I don't miss it. Come on down, brother.
I know. You know what? I'm about ready to pull that proverbial trigger, end up down there. We'll do some skunk aping, just 2 guys hanging out in the subtropics.
Oh, that would be great. 2 guys with beards. That sounds like a sitcom coming in.
That's right.
Holy crap, 16 degrees, huh? New Hampshire.
Straw Dog. That's one of my favorite places on earth is New Hampshire.
I love New Hampshire. It's a great place. But most people, and I got to play this because we haven't done it in a while. But we're talking about. We were talking about this before the show came on. 27 degrees in DC. It's like a heat wave, brother. Come on. That's my buddy Bryan. He broke my nose, by the way. Broke it. 16 years old. He told me I'm going to punch you in the face. Bang. But most people remember hearing this before we were on, and I'm going to play it.
Hi everyone, I'm David Cook, host of The Ghost Show on KSOR Digital Radio, and you're listening to Inside the Goblin Universe.
Hello again, folks, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Goblin Universe. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Ronald Murphy.
I'm Captain Bryan Bowden.
Well, wait, I think there's Sir Bryan Bowden.
I am, sir. I'll change it back. I'm Sir Bryan.
Okay, great. Because, we have to keep our banner a little bit consistent. Yeah. But you know what?
I keep the goblins on their toes, Ron.
We can have fun with the goblins tonight because one of my favorite people in the entire world is on our show tonight again.
Yes, yours and my favorite, too.
That's right. Nina, and I love to say her name because it sounds like a Dante sonnet whenever you say it. It kind of rolls drippingly off of your tongue. So
say my full name, Ronald. Ronald, say my full name. You don't really sound like a Dante sonnet.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, Nina, my fantasy is always saying your full name, but so it's Nina Marina Camarina, correct?
Nina Marie
Camarina. Yes.
Oh, wow! See, look at that right there. See, it does sound like you're in some sort of Tuscan villa, writing with a quill pen. And, you sign this as your muse. And what else? You have become my aquatic muse in regards to mermaids, I will tell you this.
Oh, my God.
So,
I know. You said
I got to stop this now because Ron is, he was single. So he was like, he was like a bull in a china shop.
But she was a beautiful girl. I mean, she was like exquisitely beautiful. I have no idea what happened to her. I have no idea whatsoever. But she was. That brings back fond memories now that I'm thinking about that. Yeah, wistful.
We had some really. Yeah, it's like the Wonder Years. You know what was great? Whenever Ron and I did the show, I remember one of our first guests was the author of Meg. What's his name? Steve Alton.
That's right.
And he was like, we were talking to him prior to the show. Like, hey, welcome to the show, whatever. And he was like, well, I didn't know, what this show is. My agent set me up with it. I thought it was going to, whatever. I don't know, after the show, and we knocked it out of the park. And he goes, I thought this was going to be another crap show, but you guys are awesome. I can't wait to come back. But this is with every guest we had. This is how we were. We were professional. We had a ton of great guests, and everybody's like, dude, this is one of the best shows because Ron asks real questions. I ask real questions. Not that, have you ever seen a Bigfoot? Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So did you flap those fins for her, Ron? Yes, I'm sure.
I flapped more than fins for her.
Yes. He worked. I'm telling you, he is one of the hardest working men in this business. And he's an amazing author. He has a whole series, the On series. So on vampires, let's go share that. I'm going to share that tab, and we'll go through your share screen. So here it is. I'm sharing it right now. So this is the Ron Murphy collection. Did it go on? Did it go up or no?
I see.
It takes a minute. But
wow.
Ron has like all these books on mermaids. I did a couple of the covers over again.
He did, and I'll tell you what. And I had them changed by you, and it did a remarkable job. I actually had the On Mermaids changed by you, but it never On Mermaids and On Dogman was all done, and it never, for whatever reason, never set.
It didn't work, and then I don't know why. The vampire book was great. I mean, I happily put some of these things together, but look at all these poetry books. Like, this is a great book. This is another one. When good people fall in love with the wrong person. I mean, this is where we are. Like, intuition wise, right? Intuition wise, each one, you meet somebody, right? And you feel that tingle, that magic. And it's not the liquor we're talking about, right? You feel the magic and you think it's really great and it's working. And then all of a sudden it goes to hell.
Right. So that happens to me a lot. So this is kind of like a great starting point, because when we talk about the paranormal, we talk about all these different things, I like to talk about the idea of frequency, right? The frequency of the world around us and how we accept that frequency, because whenever we accept something, then we resonate with that frequency. So a lot about life is negotiating through all these different frequencies to order to find the one that syncs up with yours, and that could be called a soulmate or what have you. The whole problem is that we can go into this world.
That's for Dave.
I see that. With great intentions. We go out there with, looking for the other person, but not everyone has the same outlook that you and I do, right? And
Right.
that's whenever it becomes troublesome. What is the most troublesome thing in a relationship? It was when one person cares about the other person more, and the one that cares less is the one that's in charge.
Yeah, you know that? I mean, like, if you think of it, so let's get this in perspective and let's bring a little bit of the paranormal into it.
Sure.
There is a common thread between ghost hunting, Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman, UFOs, you name it.
Mm.
And that is sound, frequency, resonance, and vibration.
Sure.
And isn't it interesting that, yeah, it is guru time right there, Dave.
Mhm.
Yes, Dave giving me shit with what is like 9,458 podcasts. But so that sound, frequency, resonance, vibration is what we vibrate at. This is how you attract.
Mhm.
So you ever see that it's like 5 balls on its strings, and you let it go and it hits it,
Sure.
and one comes out.
Mhm.
Eventually what happens, or if you use tuning forks, eventually whatever the more powerful frequency is, whatever, the others will eventually tune into that frequency. That's what love is, right? So like you
That
walking around aimlessly, and then all of a sudden you just like, holy cow, look at this.
holy cow! And all of a sudden I have a purpose, right?
Right.
Because love can save somebody. It could be salvation. I mean, religions are based upon the idea of love is salvation. But you had said something very pertinent at the very beginning of this. You said there are different kinds of love, and indeed there are. Now, unfortunately, with our modern English vernacular, we are kind of limited on that. But if
Yes.
you look at the Greek, they had 5 different categories of love. You have philia, which is brotherly love, love for a family member. You have religious or divine love. You have the erotic love, and then you have this other kind of love as well too. That's kind of like set aside for that very, very special person, and that's that uniting love that we need so much. But so many people nowadays say, I love somebody, and that's just because they got laid, right? That's not how you form love. That's
Yeah.
not the everlasting love. The poets write about.
Right.
Somebody said about a kinetic energy. Absolutely,
Yes,
love
that
has
was
to
just
be
for
kinetic
love.
because love is always in motion, always in motion.
Yep.
And whenever it stops, then it's no longer love and it's no longer active. Because I had so let me see here. I'm trying to think about whenever I heard this, but somebody had said love is not a noun, it's a verb, it's an action word. And Ron Murphy, I said, wait a second now, no, that's not the case at all. Love isn't a noun or a verb, it's a language unto itself, and that is indeed the case. So many people speak different love languages, but unless you speak that one same love language, it's never ever going to be the same. A lot of people are head over heels with somebody because of their appearances, and those things fade away. We all know that. And you have to be with somebody for the long haul because they don't complete you. You cannot go in a relationship unless you are a complete person. If you're looking to be completed by another person, then you need to go work on yourself for a while. You need to find somebody that compliments you, somebody that inspires you, and somebody who will be there with you. I'm not saying to support you or anything. I'm saying to be there with you through thick and thin. That is by far the biggest thing that I think anybody could ask for. So when we look at the Old Testament book of Job, his friends came around. He had lost his wife, he lost his children, he lost everything. They had nothing to say to him because there's no way they can sympathize with him. There's no way. So what they did was they just sat near him. They were just his company and know that he wasn't alone. And what more proving way that you love somebody than just be there for them in that case? And that's a simple request. That's not a mind-blowing request, but how many people have that in their lives? I think very, very few.
You know what? I played golf today because I could.
No, nice.
And we were talking about relationships. I play with a friend of ours' mom, and she's an older woman, and she's really, really great. And it's just nice to go out to the course because it's so hard. No one else plays in my house, and then you get stuck with some really weird people. Like I met a great person on Christmas Day. I went to play golf. I must have told him my name was Bryan like 9 times, but he insisted on calling me Steve. So this happens all the time. So I'll just go along with it. He's like, "All right, Steve, see you later." I'm like, "No problem." But we were talking about love, and I knew a couple, and they were great. They were together, they had kids, and they weren't married. They were just for like years, like 25, 30 years. Everything was great, and everybody used to joke, "When are you going to make her an honest woman? When are you going to, get married? When, whatever." And he did it one time. He asked, they got married, and 6 months later, they cannot stand each other.
Right.
So my whole premise here is sometimes you don't need to fix something that's not broken.
Sure, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's one of my problems.
Well,
yeah, that seriously, like one of my problems is that I want it kind of all at one time. And that, like, I don't have a lot of patience in this world, and I think that my Achilles heel in relationships is the notion of having it all at one time, and I need to foster patience. I really do. I need to nourish relationships instead of just jumping right in, and that's how people get hurt as well too.
Right. I mean, I'm always reminded of like when people go out looking for love or whatever it is, like, where do I go find a good woman? And, Mr. Johnson. And I'm like, gotta go to church, from Coming to America, and it's like, you can find, here's something that's very interesting. With the exception of children, let's keep those out of it. That's a little bit of a sick thing and whatever. But I know people that their age between husband and wife is significant, like double their age. So they're going out and they're with somebody that's a lot younger than them. It works. Doesn't always work, but it works. It depends on the person. Like you are a romantic. You've got, the stuff he writes in some of the books, it's out of control. He's written some of these. I've read it. I put it together. I'm like, holy crap, but I don't want to, get women upset with me because I live with 3 of them at this point. Benjamin Franklin said, "He who commands patience can have what he desires." Yeah, well, he was notorious for having a lot of women in his life, so he didn't really necessarily have patience, Brian. He just got laid quite often. But that's a different time period, right? Because the man was fairly wealthy, well-to-do, and some of the individuals he was going with, or were highbrow, but he also had his selection of whatever he wanted. It's different. I don't know how well he treated the ladies he was with, but you would treat like you or I treat these people. I don't know why I'm keep ringing here. It's connected to the. Oh, I got a loose wire someplace, and I know it's besides my head. You and I treat people differently. Very romantic. The poems, that we've come up with. I have a book. It's called Words and Muses, or Lyrical Life Poetry. It's on Amazon. I published it because I just wanted to publish it,
Right. Right.
And
something that needed to be said. I read it. It's a beautiful book.
Yeah, it's there's some books that are it's weird. It's a little bit intense. And there it is. I've got 4 ratings. Thank you very much for the 4 people. I've given out more books than I've sold. So it's good. I'm gonna try to share my screen just because I can, and I'm going to, and my show, I'll do whatever I want. There it is. It'll eventually pop up. Words and Muses. But why does it keep going out? I'll tell you. This
there it goes.
is not worth its It's weight in gold. Up, she's feeding 5 boys. But I've had people read it at conferences when I've been to a conference and I just sell it for $10 or whatever it is, And I had one woman like, oh my God, I'm like, you don't have to write it down. You can just buy it. I'll sign it for you. And I think I scared her the hell off. But this is what I do. I write music and I write a lot of music. A lot of my songs are love-based songs because it's just a great way to put out, that feeling, that frequency, that vibe. And I wrote that, and most lyrics are poems anyhow. And one of my favorite poems is Lord Byron, right? The master of, I think everybody just like, oh my God, Byron's here,
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, I agree. And love has to be intense, right? We want that kind of. I think not so much an emotional roller coaster, but we want an emotional fast car because we want to feel all these different types of sensations because that's what life is all about. You want to kind of pop the cork on that champagne that is life and drink it until you become so intoxicated by it that is the only sustenance that you can get. So that's the kind of things that I really think that life should be. It should be enjoyed. It should be, savored, and it should be relished.
It Nana goes, pop it. What are we talking about, Nana? With her, Nana has a great sense of humor too, by the way.
I see Oklahoma Nana in the house.
Yes, and she does. I want to have you on as well. She does some really, really amazing work and designs, and she created this huge bag with stones that she gave to me. I can't thank you enough. It's okay. They don't have proper clocks in Canada apparently because Cat Ward's here, and
that's right. Cat Ward in the house. That's right. Yeah, there's some sort of, you have to carry the one or something like that up there.
It's all the metric time. It's metric time. That's what it is.
That's right. That's right.
It's not 830. It's 8 millimeters. So. Oh, bloody well, it's 8 millimeters. Unless you're on the West Coast with Dave Scott, where he has you on the show, and for them it's great. It's 9 to 12, but for us it's like 12 to 3 in the morning.
It's like 12 until like 6:30 in the morning. Like by the time it finishes, the roosters are crowing outside. It's like the ending of Nosferatu. It's like I got to get to bed and like the light streaming through the house. Yeah, it's a bit difficult.
Well, I mean, again, here we go. We're talking about love. You brought up Nosferatu. All I can hear was beer cans opening. Okay, you can hear them opening. That usually helps to make the love and vibrations, the frequency vibrate with a couple of beers or whatever else you're drinking. That gets rid of the inhibition, right? And allows your body and you to succumb to the vibration. Like this is one of the reasons why I people used to say, I do the remote viewing thing. I do have abilities, whatever. How do you do it? And I was always against like I couldn't do meditation, but you can meet a lot of really great people. Talk about love at those New Age conferences, right? I mean, you've done a couple of those conferences.
Oh, I have, absolutely. I got to witness, and I'm not sure if you were there with me or not, the professional hugger. Were you there for that?
No, you called me on the phone. That's
right.
Genius.
That's right.
This is like, ladies, those guys that try to figure out any which way to get into the pants and whatever. Right. Check this out right there. Check this out.
So the guy had a booth up, and there was a line, and they were paying $20 for like 10 minutes for this gentleman to hug him, to hug him. And like I'm going past, and this guy is on the floor hugging a girl that was easily a Western Pennsylvania 8 or 9, right? That's like a Miami 4 or 5, something like that. But yeah, this is like a Pennsylvania 8 or 9, and he's on the floor hugging her, and she has tears in her eyes, and I thought, I need to get into this business. So I looked it up online, and you can become a certified professional hugger, and it costs you like, I don't know, $300 or something. You take a class on how to hug somebody, don't know what the hell's up with that. And then you then can charge somebody to get a hug by you.
I've always gotten when I give hugs, everybody's like, oh, he gets such great hugs. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should get in on that.
I think you should get in on it. And I would be your first customer. I would be lined up already, and I would say, Bryan Bowden, gosh darn it, I need a hug.
Yes, I think we're gonna go. Yes, a certified professional hugger. That's what we're gonna do.
Right.
And you got to understand something. When you go to these new age conferences, right? A lot of the women that are there just have an obscene amount of money, and they don't know what to do with it. So
That's
they get
right.
into the new age, like
That's right.
whatever. And they buy that.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so I already thought of your tagline.
What's my tagline?
Bryan Bowden, me hug you long time.
Me hug you long time. You know what? I got to get Donnie Cho on here, and that could be his tagline.
Yeah, there we go. I
told Ron when he I'm like, dude, there's a guy here. He's getting $20 for 10 minutes worth of hugs. And I said, just tell them I'll give you 20 minutes for $5.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And last time I paid somebody $20 for a hug, I was on antibiotics for 2 weeks.
See, this is why the show is totally different. And we're talking about different vibrations and frequencies. Yes, you could have been getting paid all this time.
Exactly.
Now, do I pay others to hug? No. I've never gotten paid to just to hug people. I just give hugs. I'm a nice guy. I'd like to penicillin. This is why Ron Murphy is up here and doing it. But I was talking about talking on the paranormal side of this. Besides the frequency of vibration, he wrote a book called On Vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And what are vampires notorious for, ladies?
Exactly. Yeah. From the very beginning, almost all vampires, up until the time, really I guess up until the time of Bram Stoker, to tell you the truth. I mean, there were a few flirtatious moments with male vampires, but for the most part, they were always female until very, very recently. And they preyed upon men. See, that's our fear, right? It's our fantasy and our fear at the same time, that something can sneak into our room, and we are powerful individuals, right? But something who is dainty can come into our room and steal our essence. That's a terrifying thing. But absolutely, I mean, even with Bram Stoker, once we get up to the count, we have the male vampire coming into the scene. He feeds through a penetrative act, right? He has to bite the neck, and it's very sensual because the strigoi in Romania, they either bit somebody between the eyes or over the heart. So if you watch Nosferatu, that particular vampire in that movie feeds like the typical strigoi. There's nothing much romantic about it. But the Victorians decided to kind of uber romanticize the vampire. So now we have all these sexual connotations with it as well. And, that's the reason why we still like vampires. I mean, there's a big genre in teenage literature, just as, all these kids have their little hormones bubbling about. You throw a couple teenage vampires onto a television show, and they go gung-ho for that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that whole, I forgot what the name of the show was. What the hell was the name of that show?
There was Vampire Diaries and The Descendants, and
the ones with the heads, like some were vampires and some were, they were all the pretty people. Some were vampires and some were what do you call it? Werewolves?
Yeah, I think that's Vampire Diaries, I think.
Is it Vampire Diaries? No, I thought it was something else.
Okay.
They had a whole cult following in it because everybody was beautiful. And
right.
Then,
well, my
Yeah.
daughter loved it so much. The movie, the show, the TV series was filmed in Covington, Georgia, and I took her on a pilgrimage there. And the town is just like a little cottage industry with nothing but vampires there. It's a great idea if you think about it. It's this small little antebellum town in Georgia, and they Twilight too. Yeah. And
Twilight.
they
Yeah,
kind
that was it.
of yeah, that's right.
No, but I
Yeah,
mean, but that's what it is. There's the romantic side of things, right?
sure,
So it's this small town, strangers come in
perfect.
and they woo them.
Mm.
They capture them with, is it hypnosis, or is they're picking up on their frequency and they're drawing them in like a magnet?
Sure, exactly. Again, Bryce, see, we're on the same page here because in the Middle Ages, people had been talking about the nature of love for a long time, and there was one writer by the name of Boethius who said that love was a form of gravity. That you have love in you, we all have love in us, right?
Right.
But it's the gravity that pulls that love out of the other person towards you. I like that idea very much, that it's an attractive force, right? And maybe somebody doesn't love you, but with enough persistence, maybe that love could actually grow and come towards you. And of course, this was developed more in the Renaissance, and you see this in Shakespeare's plays like
Right.
The Taming of the Shrew and stuff like that. Wherever the love in one person is able to draw out love in the other. But yeah, that's. I mean, hey, these are kind of the things we'll be talking about on the show. Let's see, very interesting. I'm already a fan, and I'm part of it.
Thanks for promoting me, Ron. That's a good idea. Actually, we're going to try to stick to a strict 8 to 9, unless we have a guest they're very, very hard to come by. And then from 9 o'clock, I'll be on Chris Grizzly's show, by the way. He does something and he's invited me to it. But you're correct in all that stuff. Like the romantic side of things is very, very important. And then let's swing it back into this. You vibrate on a frequency when love is real and it works really great. It does take time though, right? I mean, it takes time. You have to get over the quirks from X, Y, and Z. Like I hate when you do that, or stop clipping your nails in the sink, or whatever the crap is. But when you have that true love and that you're vibrating and you're connecting, it's the ultimate energy source. It's the ultimate.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, and there are studies. I mean, we don't have to talk about this in some sort of, esoteric thoughts. I mean, there are actual studies that if somebody's in love, their health improves. Longevity of life improves as well too. People seem to even walk a little taller. They get better night's sleep. It really does affect us emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, the whole way around. Love is that most powerful of a thing.
Yes, and Oklahoma, Nana's hit it on the spot. Why is romance part important? Because your feelings matter, and the electric spark of any conversation depends on its passion. It's so true. I want to thank all the Blondes and Booze, Krista and Brandy, for being in here. I know YouTube is being really, really difficult with comments. Everybody's being difficult in 2025, except for me. I'm just going to go. And
just go with the flow.
I'm going to go with the flow. We're talking about love and the vibration frequency because it is part of the universe. And Heidi, I promise we'll do remote viewing. And what we're going to do is I do an experiment when people want me to do remote viewing. I'll pick up some pictures and we'll just have people test it out, and they'll do the remote viewing. We'll go through the process of how to raise your frequency and vibration to connect with that on a conscious level, and then we'll reveal what it is. This way, I'm trying to do something a little bit more interactive with people.
Yeah, this is awesome. And I'm glad to see the Blondes and Blue. Yeah, the Blondes and Booze are out there. Some of my favorite people. See, I love these people already.
Yes, I love Blondes and Booze. It's great show. They're great. Tex is great. Rob, Bigfoot, Michigan. Rob is great.
And, one of the best. One of the best.
And Ron is always good. I mean, we're going to be in their conference, right? The
We are going to
Crossing.
be at their conference together.
Yeah, this is September 19th and 20th, right?
That's
I
right.
believe it
That's
is.
right.
And it's in Missouri. Am I correct? I just want to make sure I'm getting all my ducks in a row.
That's right.
I'm trying to get, up there. It is. It is Crossing Realms, and I'm gonna try to Wyatt, please. I just want to get the photo and post it up there, and I'm gonna try to pose it.
Get your tickets
Crossing
now.
Realms Conference, September 19th and 20th.
Yes.
And
Get your tickets now before they're sold out. I'll be there with the lovely Anne Celine. Yeah.
Yes.
Get your tickets now or you're going to be a loser. Basically, do you want to start out 2025 as being a loser? Because your friends are going to be going and you're going to say, oh, I wish I was there. And then your friends come back and say, oh, it was awesome. You should have been there. And they say, oh, I'm such a loser because I didn't go.
Yeah, you didn't go. I couldn't make it a couple of times to these places and I felt like a loser. I got to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. This is where all the cool kids go.
Yeah, this is where all the 100%. I couldn't agree more with you, Mr. Murphy. And we're going to share that image, and this is the conference right there. Hopefully, it'll pop up. I gotta be honest. StreamYard has been really, really a pain in the rear about this, but this is the conference. It's September 9th and 20th. Amazing speaker and guest list. Beyond belief. Ron's going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be there. I could do some readings. I don't have much to sell, but we will have a book coming out.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. We gotta talk about this. Okay, so you and I have been working on a book now for the past 32 years, I guess. 32 years, and it's really cool because you are definitely one of the foremost UFO guys in the film. That's not only my opinion. That is basically that's just standard knowledge in the paranormal field as far as UFOs go. With you, you've been on the programs. You've earned your stripes. So you are the guy. And I was very flattered to do this book with you, but I'm not. I'm very new to the whole UFO field. And when we came up with this idea about possible contact with extraterrestrial civilizations that could possibly be indicative in, the American mound building cultures.
Mound builders.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a book out, or we have a book that's going to be coming out, and I promise you it will be out for the event. And not only will it be out for the event, but you and I will be there to sign it together. That's like a one-in-a-million deal right there. That's you. The Bowden and the Murphy will be in the same room to sign your book.
And anybody that wants to give us some bail money, we're going to probably need it by the end of that week.
That's right. We're going to need some
Krista and Brandy.
We're coming to Missouri, and we're trying all the barbecue places out. That's guaranteed. And then we're going.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be fantastic, but that's what we're going to do. So the book is coming. I'm finishing up a couple of things. It's my fault. Life gets in the way, like we've talked about before.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
we need a GoFundMe, the bail GoFundMe for the conference.
Absolutely. But I say this is what I said we do. I say that we make our debut for the book the conference. That gives us plenty of time to get that whole thing tightened up. And we will premiere our book at the conference. That's just another added bonus for the people that get their tickets to come on in.
I think that's a great idea. And I also think that we could take a few moments and sit there and interview some of the guests. And we can do a little bit of an inside the Goblin universe thing too. Because I mean, we're back for the most part. And we're going to do the Goblin universe. I think.
The best shirts in the world were inside the Goblin Universe shirts, and I still do conferences, and I invariably see one at all these conferences, and there's always one hand that goes up at every conference that I'm at, and they say, "Are you ever going to do the Goblin Universe again?" And the answer, my friends, as you can see tonight, is Yes, indeed. We are already doing it as we speak.
Yes, we're doing it, and I've gotten a ton of people like, when are you guys coming back? When, we want to. It's just like I said, it hasn't been the easiest for the last 4 years, for the most
Oh,
part.
it's been horrible.
Yeah.
My life, and I'm a pretty carefree guy, but going through so much that have had to go through with relationships and losses and jobs and everything else. The one thing that I never wanted to put on the back burner is not only my pursuit in this field, but also our friendship, because we get along so well together. We have great chemistry. So I think that this is the initial step in 2025 to not only get back into this routine of doing stuff with you, but also rediscovering who we are as individuals. I think that's very important. And so often I put everybody else above me. And I need to start looking after myself and doing some self-care. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this show is this is excellent self-care for me, because guess what? I'm happy whenever I'm around you, and you make me a better person whenever I'm around you as well too.
Well, I can't thank you enough for those compliments. I mean, I think it works out well. I really do appreciate it. You don't normally get compliments like that, but I can't, I wanted to do something, and I've been talking about the show. If you want to be a guest on the show, just contact me, PM me, private message. I'd love to have people and guests, and the way it is. I want to do a Goblin Universe once a month. We'll pick a date. There's 4 Wednesdays mostly in the month, and then we'll do it inside the Goblin Universe retrospective through this.
Wow.
We'll blast it out to everybody. But thank you very much. We love you guys too.
Oh, absolutely.
You are freaking awesome,
yeah.
and I love talking with you because it's so much fun. It's not just the question. It's basically you can talk about anything, and I've done it.
Conversation. That's right.
Yeah.
Just two guys hanging out talking.
Yeah. It's and I'm going to try to do some paranormal stuff, but I also want it to be interactive. So
yeah,
I've been following a couple of tarot card readers that are really good, and I'm trying to get them on here. But the way to get them on here is I need more subscribers. So it would be great if YouTube could allow me to scrape from all the different ones I have and put them in one spot, but they won't let me do it. So
they're becoming more difficult on that even. I mean, everything is being cracked down. It's a shame, because I would love to be able to. I mean, when we first started, I think we are more pigeonholed now, and we have much more reins on us now than we did at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were able to do a ton of great shows. We got 100. We were almost at 1,000 people. I think it was.
Right. That's right.
And yeah, I know I've missed live since Tom's passed too. Tom was a great guy, Tom Cardos. Unfortunately, we lost him a couple months ago, but that's why I'm doing it. I mean, I used to love doing the 3 beards with him, but now I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my thing. And when I'm not doing a show, I'm going to come on here. It gives me a platform. If you want to promote, by the way, Ron does have a new book out. It's very important. And it's The Frugal Guide to Ghost Hunting in Gettysburg. There it is on Amazon. Go pick it up. Ron has a good publisher, and I've published a bunch of his books, but he's, this is something you want to do. You want to get to Gettysburg. You want to do it frugally. It can be expensive at these places.
Oh, we know that firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I also got a book on Lights in the Mist from Small Town Monsters as well too.
Yes.
I go to their website, and that's out as well too.
Yeah, I was a little bit trying to rush things together to throw this together, but Ron's books are great. And Ron called me up. He called me up once, and he read one of his reviews for the on vampires, and the review was, I didn't know I need a college degree to finish reading this book. So
Yeah, that was a good one. That was one of my favorite. The 1-star review actually really made me smile, and that was the best review I think I've ever received.
yeah, but so his books are up there. It's jam packed and filled with a lot of information, but he's also great live. You got to see Ron do his thing. When Ron is on stage, Ron's been in movies, Ron's been on TV, independent films, besides the paranormal. He used to dress up and used to do the what do you call it? Those
exotic dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about historical reenactments,
which is really funny to watch him get dressed up. But he takes it. He's a thespian as well, and an author, and a poet, and a lover, not a fighter. And and we're gonna have you back on, and we're gonna do some more fun stuff. But I want to thank you very much.
I enjoyed having this format with you, but unless all these people came on, and really, it's so great to know that when we're talking, that we have an audience listening. This is great, and that is all showing how many people like you, because I'm just along for the ride. These people are drawn to you, my friend, and unless there was these many comments on here, I don't know if I would want to do this again. But I think now, because people are on there talking, I think I want to come on back.
I hope you come on back, and I hope people watch more. I'm always looking for guests. I want to have Krista and Brandy on because they've had their own experience. They're investigators, and we're going to talk about that. We are going to do paranormal stuff, but I want it to be interactive. So I want everybody that's in chat to be able to play along. We did that. We did like a 3-hour show. It actually came out to 6 hours of recording, but we only put 3 hours up. Robert Vanderbroek, and Robert's having another issue right now. We're going to have him on. But I mean, we had it so because Robert was able to, if you brought a piece of fruit, he was able to psychically put impressions in it, and people were reporting fruit, having impressions in it and taking pictures and having an impression of something in it. So this is what makes it different. This is what I want to do. This is the best way to do it. Yes, and I'm going to be on Awake Nation tomorrow morning. It's David Zublick's Awake Nation. And you can find it on Rumble, and I'll be there at 9:00, but it starts earlier. It's a great show. So please, definitely check it out. And it's Monday through Friday, if I'm correct, Penny, which is great. But I want to, we're going to get you on. Mark, thanks for watching and keeping your clothes on. Al, I'm glad he was able to come in.
Me too. And yes, Dave Scott, always glad.
Yes. Dave Scott, okay, Nana, I mean, all of you, and none of this would happen without you. So this is how we're going to exit every show. It's always been because of everybody, but I thank everybody for being there, and we're going to wish you a great night and enjoy. This is one of my originals, by the way.
You, it's always been you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I've seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you. True love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. I love you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I have seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you, true love is you. Love is you, true love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I would give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you.